Ragnar Lothbrok, the legend of a Viking king. Ragnar Lothbrok, one of the most famous Viking warriors. His life was a blend of historical deeds and mythological legend. But who was Ragnar Lothbrok? A real Viking chieftain, a mythological hero, or a combination of both? His legendary raids, his family, and the lasting influence of his story continue to captivate us. The difficulty of separating fact from fiction with Ragnar Lothbrok is significant. His story is primarily recorded in medieval sagas, such as the Saga of Ragnar Lothbrok and the Anglo-Saxon Chronicle. Ragnar is introduced as a Viking king, famous for his raids and battles, and the father of many famous sons. Historians debate whether Ragnar was a single historical figure, or a composite of multiple Viking leaders. He fits into the Viking hero archetype, much like Beowulf or other mythological figures. The legendary account of Ragnar's early life varies. Born in Norway or Denmark, he was either the son of the king Sigurd Ring or a simple farmer, depending on the source. Ragnar rose to prominence through daring raids, including his supposed capture of Paris, though this feat is also attributed to different Viking leaders. He earned a reputation as a fearless warrior and cunning leader, gaining the name Lothbrok, which translates to hairy breeches due to a story involving him wearing fur trousers soaked in tar to protect himself from venomous snakes. One of Ragnar's legendary raids was on Lindisfarne in 793 AD, although historians debate whether this was actually led by Ragnar. His assault on Paris in 845 AD is another famous tale. Ragnar, according to legend, sailed up the Seine River with 120 ships, besieged the city, and demanded a ransom of gold and silver. Ragnar's numerous raids on England, particularly his invasion of Northumbria and his dealings with King Aella, who would later become his nemesis, are also well known. These stories are a mixture of myth and history. While some events may be real, much of the narrative comes from sagas that mix truth with embellishment. Ragnar's legacy did not end with his death. His sons, each a legend in their own right, carried his name forward with unparalleled ferocity and ambition. There was Ivar the Boneless, known for his cunning and ruthless nature. Then, Bjorn Ironside, whose adventures took him far and wide, even to the Mediterranean. Sigurd Snake in the Eye, with his unique mark and fierce reputation. Hvitserk, a warrior through and through. And Ubbe, who played a crucial role in Viking expeditions. The great heathen army, led by Ragnar's sons, was a force to be reckoned with. Seeking revenge for their father's death, they launched a series of devastating raids across England in the late 9th century, leaving a trail of conquest and fear. Among them, Ivar the Boneless stood out. His strategic brilliance and unyielding resolve led the great heathen army to numerous victories against the English kingdoms, cementing his place in history. These sons of Ragnar not only avenged their father but also expanded Viking influence far beyond Scandinavia. From the shores of England to the heart of the Mediterranean, they carried on Ragnar's legacy, ensuring that the name Lothbrok would be remembered for generations. The legendary story of Ragnar's last campaign against Northumbria, where he was captured by King Aella. Ragnar's famous speech, boasting of his conquests and claiming that his sons would avenge him. Ragnar's execution by being thrown into a pit of venomous snakes, one of the most famous and brutal scenes from Viking legend. The impact of Ragnar's death on Viking history leading directly to the great heathen army's invasion of England. The invasion of England by Ragnar's sons in 865 AD, known as the Great Heathen Army. The motivations behind the invasion, revenge for Ragnar's death and the desire to conquer new lands. Key battles and campaigns of the Great Heathen Army, including the capture of York and the defeat of King Aella, who, according to legend, was executed by Ragnar's sons via the brutal Blood Eagle punishment. The Viking conquest of much of England, and the establishment of the Danelaw, a region of England under Viking control. Ragnar Lothbrok has become a symbol of Viking heroism and adventure, appearing in numerous TV series, films, and video games. The appeal of Ragnar's character, a mix of cunning, bravery, and defiance, which continues to captivate audiences worldwide. How Ragnar's legend has been romanticized and mythologized over the centuries, influencing modern perceptions of Vikings as warriors, explorers, and raiders. The impact of historical fiction and media in shaping Ragnar's legend and bringing Viking culture into the mainstream. Ragnar's legendary life, highlighting his daring raids, his famous sons, and his dramatic death. Ragnar's story, whether real or mythical, represents the spirit of the Viking Age, exploration, conquest, and legacy. The lines between history and legend blur in the story of Ragnar Lothbrok, but his influence remains timeless. Thank you for watching our historical recollection of Ragnar Lothbrok, the legend of a Viking king. Please like, share, and subscribe to see more historical adventures.